For generations, the people of Waterhen Lake First Nation in northern Saskatchewan lived in deep connection with the land, hunting, fishing, and trapping throughout the Cold Lake and Primrose Lake region. But in 1954, that relationship was violently interrupted. Without consultation or consent, the Canadian government established the Cold Lake Air Weapons Range, turning over 11,000 square kilometers of sacred and unsurrendered territory into a military bombing zone. Toxic chemicals from decades of live fire exercises contaminated soil and water, disrupting ecosystems and displacing communities whose way of life had depended on those lands for centuries. In 1975, Waterhen Lake joined 4 other nations: Canoe Lake, Cold Lake, Buffalo River, and Joseph Big Head First Nation, to file a claim for lost lands and rights. It was rejected, even after the Indian Claims Commission found in the 1990s that Canada had failed its fiduciary duty. The government refused to act. Cold Lake First Nations reached a settlement in 1997. Waterhen Lake did not, despite being equally affected. When they filed a new claim in 2021 for compensation and lost harvesting rights, it was denied, again, first by policy, then by tribunal, and finally by the Federal Court of Appeal in 2025. Today, Waterhen remains without compensation, recognition, or access to their traditional lands. Even decades later, the fight continues. And the land remembers the scars, even if the government forgot.
My name's Shirley Lazaruk. I was born on the Waterhen Lake First Nation. It's a community in northern Saskatchewan. As a child, our community was a very quiet area, a nice little northern community where nothing ever happened. There was no town close by. It was just a community, neighbors living like a ways from each other, but still contact, stayed in connection with each other, for socializing and hunting, fishing, that kind of thing. My first memory of the existence of this bombing range was when I was a child. I remember it so vividly because it was like a nice hot summer day. I was playing outside with my other siblings. Nice, beautiful, sunny, warm day. And suddenly, it was a sunny day, and I heard this rumbling in the distance in the northern, coming from the north. And suddenly I felt like the earth shake a bit. The earth kind of rumbled a little bit, and I stood up and I looked, and I thought, usually like when you hear the thunder, it's cloudy, but it wasn't cloudy. I looked up in the sky, and suddenly one jet went screaming right by, and another one right by. Right after that one, they just were so loud and they flew so low, it scared the living daylights out of me. I just started screaming and crying and running back into the house to my mother. That was my first recollection of that day. And that's when I asked my mom what that was. And then she told me it was bombs being dropped north of where we were. And in Cree, she said, "Paksiga na here." That I had no idea what that was. And then I asked her, and she said, "These are what they use during the war when they bomb a place." That was real scary, real scary. This is area that will probably never get back. And even if we got it back, we'd probably never be able to use it because of the destruction of all the bombings, and who knows what else is up there. Like, you know, access to that area of land, I'm pretty sure has been limited by the national defense. I don't think anybody's ever even really been allowed to go up there hunting and fishing and stuff, because there's probably bombs that haven't even gone off. Who knows? You know, we don't know what's up there, right? Like, it's probably destroyed. Maybe, you know, maybe there's fires, maybe there's like fragments of bombs still sitting there. I don't think we'd ever be able to use it if you were able to get it back.